I've worked in the private sector. They expect results.
Welcome to the Nation of Jake on The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
Yes, have some?
Yes, have some.
Welcome to it, the Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990. Online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live on YouTube. The YouTube channel, Nation of Jake. Run that all together, one word, Nation of Jake. Subscribe on YouTube. Also, follow along on Facebook and on Twitter at Nation of Jake on this beautiful, the whole week here in late July. Sunny, 82 degrees, high of 84 today. Perfect day to get outside. Play some golf. Maybe if you're out at the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. I guess they've got some activities going on out there. Is it a Pro-Am they do on the Wednesday? I don't know if they do. Listen, it's all changed. I mean, this is a huge deal now out there. It's not the FedEx St. Jude Classic anymore, which was really an underrated tournament for a number of years. Now it's actually a big deal. The PGA is more involved in it, and they love the weather for the inaugural WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. I'm going out there tomorrow. I'm going to hang out in the pavilion with my dad. We like to go each year and hang out for a little while. So in the meantime, I'm going to be using the great weather today to go out and do some more drinking and droning. That's right. I'll tell you all about my drinking and droning adventure yesterday. In short, I don't recommend it. I recommend learning how to drone before you drink and drone. I bought this little drone, and it was a complete, unmitigated disaster. Thing got caught up in the wind, and then it got out of range, and it would just drop out of the sky. Just like that. I'm like, oh, it's broken. But it wasn't. It's surprisingly durable for a $30 drone. We'll get into all that stuff in a little bit. Plenty to get to. Ton of stuff on the agenda. Tennessee has elected a new House Speaker. Glenn Cassida was pressured to resign after a number of controversies during his term as Speaker. So we've got a new House Speaker. We've got some new 2020 polls out. Joe Biden is still the front runner, but these polls are more about issues. Like what issues are most important to voters in 2020 and how that might shake out in the presidential race. And we got some follow-up stories, including the jerks at the grocery store in Atlanta. Two people arguing about how many items somebody had in an express lane, and this became a national political firestorm. Well, there's now a police report, there's video, and there are some witnesses shedding more light on that ridiculous story. We'll also cover all the headlines in the news cruise, but mainly we're going to cover today's top story. That would be the hashtag Mueller hearings, the latest political Rorschach test, a venue for Republicans and Democrats to grandstand and try to hammer in a point of no collusion, no obstruction versus we need to impeach Donald Trump. Republicans and Democrats are pretty much using Robert Mueller as a sounding board, just as a venue to grandstand and pander to their bases. And that's really it. Depending on who's watching, you're going to think, oh, this is bad for Democrats. Democrats watching will say, oh, this is bad for Republicans. We're going to get to the bottom of everything. And now first, just the top line on the hashtag Mueller hearings. We've got this hearing. By the way, the Democrats' idea. It was the Democrats who pushed for Robert Mueller to go before the House Judiciary and House Intelligence Committees on this July 24th, right? This was their idea. They subpoenaed him even after he came out in a press conference and said, the special counsel is done. It's over. I'm retiring. I'm going to go be a private citizen. I do not want to testify about the Mueller report. If you call me to testify about the Mueller report, I will not address anything that is not already in the Mueller report. Well, the Democrats, Jerry Nadler and company, get together and say, oh, we need you to testify. They subpoenaed him against his wishes. He already told them he wasn't going to go outside of what's already in the report, so what did you expect? Now, the Democrats, those responsible for this entire debacle today, they wanted Robert Mueller to bring the Mueller report to life. It wasn't enough that he supervised multiple lawyers and multiple investigators who compiled this report, and it's becoming more and more apparent that was his role. It bears his name, but I don't think that Robert Mueller wrote the Mueller report. Hell, I don't know that he even read it by what we saw today. More to that in a minute. But they wanted him to testify so that he could bring it to life. And Robert Mueller, to this point, he's done anything but bring that Mueller report to life. In fact, he's kind of sucked all the life out of it by watching these hearings. I mean, he seems like he didn't even read it a lot of the time. He seems just kind of lost. I mean, if you watched any of the clips, and we're going to get to those in a few minutes, we're going to have a lot of clips from the Mueller report or the Mueller hearings that are going on today. Now, Mueller comes off kind of like a remedial English sophomore giving a report on a book he didn't read. And he's the author. It's called the Mueller Report. You can get it at Ollie's bargain closeout store for like $5 at this point. I mean, this was the biggest deal ever. You remember the Mueller report. When is he going to release the report? When's it going to come out? And when it does, what kind of bombshell is going to... This is the end. The Mueller report. Mueller always gets his man. Well, just looking at him, he looks confused. He's asking, could you repeat that? Where is that? What are you doing? Who am I? Mueller. I've never heard of Mueller. Who is he? Is he a report? Did I write it? I didn't. I don't know. He looks confused. Overall, Robert Mueller today, he acted and is acting like a tired old man who doesn't want to be in the middle of your drama, your BS drama. He's there. He's like, refer to the report. He has said that dozens of times. That's in the report. Or, I'm not going to get into that. That's not in my purview. So he's true to his word. He's not saying anything that's not in the report. But even with regard to the report, he seems largely unfamiliar what's in his own report. Now check this out. This is a compilation of early on this morning with Robert Mueller answering questions in these Mueller hearings.
The president committed the crime of obstruction. You could not publicly state that in your report or here today.
Can you repeat the question, sir? You're going to have to repeat that for me. Can you repeat the last part of that question?
Yeah. Which act? Pardon?
Can you read the last question?
The last question was...
I want to make certain I got it accurate. I'm sorry, could you restate?
The individual is in fact obligated to provide what's being demanded by the regulation or statute, meaning you don't have any wiggle room, right?
I'd have to look more closely at the statute.
Well, I just read it to you.
And what was the question, sir, if I might?
Correct?
And where are you reading from on that?
I'm reading from my question.
Then could you repeat it?
Okay.
Is that correct on the screen?
Can you repeat the question? And now that I have the language on the screen.
Is it correct?
What was the question?
Pardon?
Can you read the last question?
The last question was...
I want to make certain I got it accurate.
Attorney number 2 in the Inspector General's report and Strzok both worked on your team, didn't they?
Pardon me? Can you ask?
They both worked on your team, didn't they?
I know. I heard Strzok. Who else were you talking about?
Attorney number 2 identified in the Inspector General's report.
Okay. And the question was?
Volume 2, page 87 and 88 of your report. True?
I'm sorry. Could you again repeat the question?
I mean, the guy looks lost. I mean, Robert Mueller. I mean, he's your special counsel. He's the FBI man, the veteran investigator, prosecutor, straight out of central casting, right? Mueller always gets his man. I mean, he's just kind of looking at all these congressmen, Democrats and Republicans, mouth agape, real confused. Could you repeat the question? I mean, he goes from that veteran prosecutor always gets his man right out of central casting to looking like there's a silver alert out for him. He looks like a mix between Fred Gwynn and Abe Vigoda. Just kind of sitting there, just confused and tired looking, doesn't want to be there. He might as well just pull a Dante from Clerks and say, I'm not even supposed to be here today. His heart's not in it. He knows this is he's being used for political purposes. Because if you go through the old Twitter, all you're going to do is see, and you're going to see Democrats going, oh, they got him. They got him. Look, he said they didn't exonerate Trump for obstruction. Well, that's not the goal. That's not the standard set by any prosecutor. And then Republicans are going to go, oh, look, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He didn't read his own report. Well, both are true. I mean, all he's saying is stuff that was in his report. He's not going outside of anything that was in his report, but just the look of it. It just looks bad. It looks like he's unfamiliar with the report. He doesn't want to be there. He's reluctant to say anything or shed any more light on any of this because he can't go outside of what the report says. This is a giant waste of time. It's working out in the favor, it seems, for Donald Trump and the Republicans because the DOJ says that Robert Mueller can't go outside of what's in the report. So that gives Republicans license to get up there and just beat them up about all these things that are outside the report and even some of the things that are in the report. And we're going to get into some of the clips here coming up next. I think the most powerful thing is the whole idea that Robert Mueller's report does not exonerate Donald Trump of obstruction and just how absolutely backwards that entire line of reasoning is. And I think that's really at the heart of it, is because the Democrats are hanging their hats on the fact that it does not exonerate Donald Trump, but that's not even a legal standard by which a prosecutor can even function. That's not at all. And he admits as much, and he does so in these clips we have coming up next. We're not going to do all Mueller all day, but this is the number one story. This is what people expect to hear about. So we are going to get into the clips, and then we'll move on, maybe even revisit, what will this do? Will this be something that Democrats will take an action on? Because you know that they want to move forward on impeachment. Can they? Will this do it? I'm not so sure. But we'll get into the clips next, and we'll do it right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
Free Talk Live.
They have to pass a law that all the guns that are currently there have to disappear in a puff of smoke. That's what they have to do.
Oh, wait, you mean the bad guys won't actually give up their firearms when the authorities come around to confiscate them?
It doesn't really matter that they won't give up their firearms because we're going to pass a law.
Striking.
Laws aren't a bunch of dumb crap written on paper. They actually do something.
Free Talk Live, Sunday through Friday nights on KWAM, The Voice, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, stop. Don't do anything until you talk to my man, James Underwood. James Underwood has been helping people like you navigate the Mid-South real estate market for more than a decade. So whether you're looking to buy your first home or you want to upgrade to your forever home, James Underwood can help make it happen. No gimmicks, no guarantees, just a rock-solid guy that I've known for 25 years. So now, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, hit up James Underwood with CryLike. JamesUnderwood.crylike.com. That's JamesUnderwood.crylike.com.
If you're in need of a professional cleaning service that takes your business as seriously as you do, call Jan Pro Cleaning Systems today. They understand how important it is to establish and maintain a professional image. That's why they offer the Jan Pro Signature Clean and the Jan Pro Guarantee. From regular scheduled cleaning to the tough stuff like stripping and waxing, buffing, carpet extractions, and detail cleaning, Jan Pro does it all. Call today for a free, no-obligation quote. 901-683-4900. Insured and bonded for your protection. Jan Pro Cleaning Systems. Measurable cleaning, guaranteed results.
Whatever you may be interested in, chances are you can find some valuable information in the July edition of The Best Times, now available on your local newsstand. Don't miss articles about elder abuse, the dangers of using marijuana, the value of lifelong learning, the myth of taking vitamin D to reduce development of type 2 diabetes, which CDs are best for you, legal documents that everyone should have to protect their assets, and so much more. The Best Times is available at all Kroger and CVS pharmacies. Get your copy today.
Man, do I love card night. You ready, boys? You got a king?
Go, fish dad.
Oh, come on. This is WWE superstar Titus O'Neil. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council. Start your day with America in the Morning, your daily radio news magazine. I'm John Trout, and weekday mornings we'll bring you the top stories and latest breaking news from our correspondents around the country. You'll get sports highlights, a business update, the nation's weather, the Hollywood Minute, and much more. So join us right here for America in the Morning.
Weekdays on your local voice, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
Usual person.
This is a public service announcement test from TakeMeFishing.org to determine if you need a fishing license and boat registration before heading out on the water. Let us begin. Are you a bear? Do you have a beak? Do you have plumage? Please tell me you answered no, which means you need to get a fishing license and have your boat registered, because it helps local conservation efforts protect the very natural resources you enjoy boating and fishing in for generations to come. Do your part at TakeMeFishing.org.
Hi, this is Jim Shoemaker. Join me next Wednesday at 8 a.m. and again on Saturday at 9 a.m. with my special guests Shannon Dyson and Dane Williams from Insurance Solutions. We're going to be talking about property and casualty insurance and what you need and what you don't need. Also, Scott Jordan will join us. We're going to talk about investing and how to avoid the disaster that some people think about. If you have questions for Talk Money, email them to talkmoney@shoemakerfinancial.com. That's Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. and again on Saturday at 9 a.m. on Talk Money, The Voice, KWAM 990 and FM 107.9.
All right, welcome back.
Yes, have some.
The Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990, online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live on YouTube. Go check out The Nation of Jake there on YouTube. One word, Nation of Jake. Run it together. Subscribe to the channel, and you can watch it live. You can also watch it later, an hour later, whenever you want. It's on demand, because here we are in 2019. It's an on-demand society. The Nation of Jake is no different. You can follow along on Facebook and also on Twitter. That's where I've been most of the morning, is on Twitter, checking out videos and clips of the hashtag Mueller hearings. And just so you know, I kind of feel bad for Robert Mueller. I mean, he's there. He doesn't want to be there. He's reluctant to go in front of the House Judicial and Intelligence Committees and answer these questions. He was subpoenaed. He said he didn't want to be there. So he's being used by Democrats because they eventually want to impeach Donald Trump. They just need him to go on record, bring the Mueller report to life so they can get more public support for impeachment. Because if you recall, they had an impeachment vote last week in the House, and it failed. 332 to 95. That was the impeachment vote last week. So they do not have the public support for impeachment. If they did, they would have just voted to impeach him last week. They did not. Even if the House does vote to impeach Donald Trump, the Senate will not. They won't let it go any farther. So it's just kind of a goofy plan, if you ask me. That said, Robert Mueller's there. You know, if the guy hadn't put so many people in jail for process crimes, I'd feel bad for him. I mean, he did. I mean, what he did affected a lot of people who really didn't do anything that bad, other than, they got investigated, and they may have fudged a little bit, and they're going to jail for a long time for stuff that most people don't even do any time for at all. I mean, people in Congress, they lie all the time, right? Or make misleading statements, whatever it is. But listen, he's a big boy. 74-year-old man. He's a special counsel, right? He can take it. He should be able to sit in front of congressmen and answer their questions. But it just hasn't really gone very well for him. It hasn't. He's just looked disoriented and lost. You heard the montage earlier where he just needed the questions repeated, almost like he's a little bit slow on the uptake. I mean, that's not the Robert Mueller that we were sold, is it? Robert Mueller is a veteran investigator, always gets his man, then you just hear him in this live interaction, and it's just not very impressive. It's not. It's almost as if he didn't write or read the report. I mean, it's very clear that the guy had more of a supervisory role. Like he was the guy in charge of making other people compile the Mueller report. And he really can't speak to it as I guess, lucidly as he should for a guy who put it together. His name is on it. Now, at the heart of this, with the Mueller report, and it was summarized by William Barr, that they found no evidence of collusion or conspiracy with the Russian government to affect the outcome of the 2016 election. All right, so no collusion. Everybody pretty much agrees on that. It's this issue of obstruction. So Robert Mueller says the report doesn't make a decision on obstruction, but it does not exonerate the president or something like that. I'm paraphrasing. But that whole idea that a prosecutor is there to exonerate, it kind of flies in the face of our whole judicial system, doesn't it? You are innocent until proven guilty. The presumption of innocence is there. You don't prove people innocent. You find them not guilty. There's never been a jury that has ever said, Your Honor, we find the defendant innocent. They say, no, we find them not guilty, meaning the evidence didn't rise to the level to prove guilt, beyond a reasonable doubt or find somebody guilty through clear and convincing evidence, whatever legal standard there is. And that is pointed out by Representative John Ratcliffe, a former federal prosecutor. This guy, he really takes it to Robert Mueller, and it's almost like Robert Mueller doesn't even know what to say at this point. We're going to listen to this for a few minutes.
The report on the bottom of page 2 of volume 2 reads as follows. The evidence we obtained about the president's actions and intent presents difficult issues that prevent us from conclusively determining that no criminal conduct occurred. Accordingly, while this report does not conclude that the president committed a crime, it also does not exonerate him. Now, I read that correctly?
Yes.
All right. Now, your report, and today you said at all times the special counsel team operated under, was guided by, and followed Justice Department policies and principles. So, which DOJ policy or principle sets forth a legal standard that an investigated person is not exonerated if their innocence from criminal conduct is not conclusively determined?
Can you repeat the last part of that question?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which DOJ policy or principle set forth a legal standard that an investigated person is not exonerated if their innocence from criminal conduct is not conclusively determined? Where does that language come from, Director? Where is the DOJ policy that says that? Let me make it easier.
Go ahead.
Can you give me an example other than Donald Trump where the Justice Department determined that an investigated person was not exonerated because their innocence was not conclusively determined?
I cannot, but this is a unique
Okay,
situation.
well, you can't. Time is short. I've got 5 minutes. Let's just leave it at you can't find it because I'll tell you why. It doesn't exist.
So he's saying, listen, nobody has had this legal standard applied to them except for Donald Trump. And you hear Mueller trying to say, well, this is a unique situation. Well, there's this OLC opinion. The DOJ says you can't indict a sitting president. And so that is a point of contention, right? Saying that, if a president commits a crime while in office, you can't indict him while he's in office. And this has been the subject of a lot of scrutiny. In fact, Ted Lieu, a Democrat, he wanted Robert Mueller to say that in no uncertain terms. That pretty much he wanted to imply that the only reason that Robert Mueller didn't charge Donald Trump with obstruction is because the OLC opinion that you can't indict a sitting president. Here's that exchange.
A reasonable person looking at these facts could conclude that all three elements of the crime of obstruction of justice have been met. And I'd like to ask you, the reason again that you did not indict Donald Trump is because of OLC opinion stating that you cannot indict a sitting president, correct?
That is correct.
All right, so right there, that's what a lot of Democrats have grabbed onto as, hey, he just said it. He just said the reason that he did not indict Donald Trump is because you can't indict a sitting president. So, hey, that's it. That's it. He brought it to life. He pretty much said that. That was going to be the soundbite that was going to lead the news. Is Robert Mueller, he says, the only reason we didn't indict Donald Trump is because we couldn't. But in the report that you just heard John Ratcliffe read from, he says, we don't have the evidence to prove he committed the crime, but it also does not exonerate him. So it's like, what gives, man? Did you write it? Did you even read it? And so now Robert Mueller is going back on that. He's kind of revisiting that interaction with Ted Lieu. Now he wants to clarify. So we'll listen to him clarify this, what he said earlier to Congressman Ted Lieu.
Now, before we go to questions, I want to add one correction to my testimony this morning. I want to go back to one thing that was said this morning by Mr. Lieu, who said, and I quote, "You didn't charge the president because of the OLC opinion." That is not the correct way to say it. As we say in the report, and as I said at the opening, we did not reach a determination as to whether the president committed a crime.
All right, so he didn't reach a decision on the crime. But wasn't that your whole job, was to reach a decision on whether or not the president committed a crime? You've added this language, you've added this standard that doesn't apply with the whole doesn't exonerate him. It doesn't even make sense. And going back to Representative John Ratcliffe, he does a good job of pointing that out as well.
Respectfully, Director, it was not the special counsel's job to conclusively determine Donald Trump's innocence or to exonerate him, because the bedrock principle of our justice system is a presumption of innocence. It exists for everyone. Everyone is entitled to it, including sitting presidents. And because there is a presumption of innocence, prosecutors never, ever need to conclusively determine it. Now, Director, the special counsel applied this inverted burden of proof that I can't find, and you said doesn't exist anywhere in the department policies, and you used it to write a report. And the very first line of your report, says, and as you read this morning, it authorizes the special counsel to provide the Attorney General with a confidential report explaining the prosecution or declination decisions reached by the special counsel. That's the very first word of your report, right?
That's correct.
Here's the problem, Director. The special counsel didn't do that. On volume 1, you did. On volume 2, with respect to potential obstruction of justice, the special counsel made neither a prosecution decision or a declination decision. You made no decision. You told us this morning and in your report that you made no determination. So respectfully, Director, you didn't follow the special counsel regulations. It clearly says, write a confidential report about decisions reached. Nowhere in here does it say, write a report about decisions that weren't reached. You wrote 180 pages about decisions that weren't reached, about potential crimes that weren't charged or decided. And respectfully, by doing that, you managed to violate every principle and the most sacred of traditions about prosecutors not offering extra prosecutorial analysis about potential crimes that aren't charged.
See, and here's the thing about it. You're not going to hear this on the news. You're not going to hear this on CBS, NBC, ABC, CNN. You're not going to hear this because it was a 4-minute systematic evaluation of the entire basis of that Volume 2 of the Mueller report on obstruction, because it's not wrapped up nice in a little soundbite. Because what John Ratcliffe does here is he goes through and shows how the entire second volume of the report goes against everything that the judicial system is built on, but you can't just play that in a soundbite. What you can play is Ted Lieu asking, so the reason you didn't decide to charge Donald Trump with a crime is because you can't indict a sitting president. And then you have him saying, that is correct. You probably won't even see where Robert Mueller goes back and corrects himself and says that's not the accurate way to put that. So essentially, you're going to get people, and I'm one of them, who are going to draw what they think is interesting or they think is pertinent from this entire exercise, this circus, essentially. But I will point out a couple things. The Democrats asked for this. The Democrats wanted Mueller to be there in the hot seat, getting grilled in this high-stakes questioning. So they asked for this. What they're finding out is that Robert Mueller was probably, he probably wasn't conducting all the interviews. He probably wasn't doing the day-to-day. He probably had his team of investigators and attorneys and FBI agents, all those people that he had access to, all those resources, he just, hey, top line me. I don't need to know the details, but just give me the top line on this. And then he had a hand in organizing it and then crafting maybe the final message of it all, carefully worded it in order to come to this conclusion or non-conclusion on collusion and obstruction. So really what this does is it kind of exposes Robert Mueller as being somebody who had it at an arm's reach, just had it on a tangent, and that the people working for him were the ones really in charge, and that those people are widely known to be Hillary Clinton supporters and Democrats. So I don't think this helps the Democrats on the Judiciary Committee, the Intelligence Committee, or in the House of Representatives at all with their push for impeachment. In fact, this might be the end of the line. This might be where it all fizzles out. And again, they just last week voted on impeachment, and there was a vote of 332 to 95 out of 435 members of the House. 332 voted not to impeach the president. Now, what has happened between then and now to change that? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just a lot of political theater, and that's what this is. That's what we're looking at today. In a little bit, we've got some 2020 candidates who are looking at the Mueller hearings today and pretty much saying, oh yeah, we need to impeach the president, because that's their rallying cry, because all their ideas are terrible. Also, we've got some more polls about some of the issues and how it might impact the 2020 race. Coming up next, though, there's a guy who wrote an op-ed in the Daily Memphian, which I read today, and I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't listening to this program yesterday. Sometimes I'll get on fire about an issue, and then I'll see pretty much my exact thoughts echoed by somebody else in the media. Now, I'm not going to say they listen to this program to get their ideas, but maybe it's a great minds think alike kind of deal. He wrote this op-ed about these e-scooters. They're going to double the amount of these e-scooters in town and in the area, and how it's just such a bad idea. We will get another take, a similar take, but another take on the doubling of the e-scooters here in Memphis. And we'll do that next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
CBS News Special Report. Russia's Special Counsel Robert Mueller wrapped up his morning testimony before the House Judiciary Committee. He's now before the Intelligence Committee and Chairman Adam Schiff.
Your investigation determined that the Trump campaign, including Donald Trump himself, knew that a foreign power was intervening in our election and welcomed it, built Russian meddling into their strategy, and used it.
Republicans have hit Mueller hard over the bottom line of the investigation and his report. No evidence of collusion, no determination of obstruction of justice. California's Devin Nunes.
The Democrats have argued for nearly 3 years that evidence of collusion is hidden just around the corner. Like the Loch Ness Monster, they insist it's there, even if no one can find it.
And Nunes called the hearing political theater and a Hail Mary attempt by Democrats to convince Americans that President Trump conspired with Russia. CBS News Special Report. I'm Jim Chenevey.
Live from Memphis, it's the Eye on Memphis show with host Betty Lamar. Eye on Memphis is wall-to-wall conversations featuring top doctors and community leaders monitoring social disparities in healthcare. Eye on Memphis with Betty Lamar on KWAM The Voice, FM 107.9 and AM 990. Saturdays at 12 noon. Sponsored in part by AM Diabetes and Endocrinology Center in Bartlett.
The special event florist for the Mid-South is Lynn Doyle Flowers. They are famous for creating incredible floral arrangements and are available to fill even your last-minute needs. From the simple to the magnificent, their staff can create unique arrangements for your special occasion. Flowers always bring a smile, make someone's day, and for fast, convenient delivery, call Lynn Doyle Flowers today at 901-323-4521 or visit their beautiful new location at 6225 Old Poplar Pike.
Tune in Tuesday mornings at 7:35 for Let's Talk Growth with Triumph.
You have a lot of choices when it comes to banks, so we'd like to share how Triumph's local focus can make banking easy for you. Do you have a bank that serves as a financial quarterback for both you and your business? Are you saving for a major purchase or buying a home? On our show, you'll hear from Triumph's experienced bankers and learn how we can help you triumph. Triumph Bank is a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender. Let's talk growth with Triumph, Tuesdays at 7:35.
This is Clark Howard. So many cars are so much more quiet than they used to be. Any of a number of them automatically go silent when you come to a stop. And this is causing losses of life in the weirdest way. And I want to make sure you're aware, if you have a key fob that just has to be on you when you get in your car and you press a start button, when you get out of the car, you need a way to remember to turn your SUV, car, truck, whatever, off so that you don't die from carbon monoxide poisoning. What happens is people are pulling into the garage and putting their vehicle into park, forgetting that the vehicle's not turned off, going inside, and then the silent killer carbon monoxide gets them. So what I'd like for you to do is, if you have a keyless car, just put a sign in your garage, remember to turn off.
Hey, Mike, how's the house coming along? Needs a ton of work. The pipes are leaking. Needs a new roof. The AC just broke. I just don't have time to do it all myself. You know anyone?
Oh, just ask Home Advisor. They match you with the best local pros for any home project.
Cool.
Yeah, you can read reviews and book appointments online.
What's it cost?
Actually, Home Advisor is always free to use.
Nice. I'll check it out.
Go to HomeAdvisor.com or download the free app.
Home Advisor. Have you heard what President Trump said recently?
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too.
Now you can watch Newsmax TV and get the truth about Trump from Bill O'Reilly, Mike Reagan, Alan Dershowitz, Pat Buchanan, and more. Newsmax TV is America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in 70 million homes. Find Newsmax on DirecTV, Dish, Xfinity, Spectrum, Optimum, Fios, Uverse, and more systems. See Newsmax TV today. It's real news for real people.
Welcome back to it.
Yes, have some.
The Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990, online, KWAMTheVoice.com, streaming live on YouTube, the YouTube channel Nation of Jake. Go check it out, one word, Nation of Jake, also on Facebook and Twitter as well. Yesterday, we got news that the city of Memphis was going to allow more e-scooter companies to come in. We got Bird, we got Lime. We're going to have Bolt and Spin come into the Memphis area, into the market, to bring more scooters. These scooters, you download an app, you can rent the scooter by the minute, which, if you don't want to pay a lot of money, you get there fast. These scooters, by the way, they go about 15 miles per hour, which is not fast if you're driving a car, but it's pretty fast when you're on a scooter and when you're on a sidewalk or uneven pavement with little wheels. It's kind of like those Razor scooters. They are essentially Razor scooters. Remember the big controversy over Razor scooters? Look, the wheels are so small, they can't overtake any obstructions, any cracks, any bumps. Kids were breaking their faces, rolling around on Razor scooters. Now, take a Razor scooter, put a motor in it, and go 15 miles per hour. Zip around. So it's caused a lot of injuries, a lot of people ending up in the emergency room, a lot of people have died, getting hit by cars. You know, you get your uncoordinated, top-heavy people who have no idea what they're doing on a Bird scooter. And then you got the problem with the Bird scooter graveyards popping up. These things, people just leave them wherever they want. And there's no real good system for cleaning them up. I know they've got people out there who can go charge them, and then, you know, they can track them. They know where they are. But all too often, they just kind of junk up the place. So, you know, I kind of went on a little bit of a rant about it yesterday. And then I got some emails. I got some people, some hate mail saying, hey, I thought you were a libertarian guy. I thought you were let the market work it out. I thought you were a deregulation guy. And I had to explain, look, I'm more of a small L libertarian at the federal level, meaning I want a small and efficient federal government. But a city like Memphis or like Germantown or like Bartlett, they should be able to do whatever works for them. And I'm not, no zoning laws, have a pig farm right next to a school or whatever it is. I mean, I believe there is a place for government to work things out. And that's at the local level. The government closest to the people governs best, in my opinion. So as a government gets farther away from you, I think it should be smaller and less invasive, just to give you kind of like the reverse funnel of my politics. All right, well, today, I thought it was great. I was looking up some articles, doing my daily show prep, so to speak, and I ended up on the Daily Memphian website. They do a pretty good job with stories and concerns from citizens, and I thought this was awesome. Here we go. This is an op-ed from a guy named Keith Goldberg. Goldberg's from downtown, okay? And he's got a little op-ed. It's called Flipping the Bird. If you live or work downtown, you've experienced the scooter invasion. The beachhead was established by companies named Bird and Lime, but threats of a wider infiltration have been promised by Lyft, Segway, Uber, and others. Don't forget Bolt and Spin. Maybe this was penned before yesterday's news. Going back to Goldberg here, my first impression of these scooters was amazement at how, as a culture, we direct so much innovation towards enabling Americans to get even less exercise than the paltry, life-shortening amount we currently enjoy. All right. But I began writing this piece because, as I sat down on my downtown terrace sipping my morning coffee, I witnessed a gruesome scooter wipeout. Unfortunately, it was just the latest of many such accidents I've seen. This time, the victim was a young woman who face-planted while trying to ride over the trolley tracks. Again, these little wheels, they can't go over trolley tracks. Humming along at 15 miles per hour, bzzz, and then, boom, scooter stops, you don't, face-plant into the asphalt. Sounds hilarious. Goldberg's a nice guy. He doesn't like to see people get hurt, and I get that. He calls it gruesome. I would say that's hilarious. And if this happens as often as Goldberg says it does, he needs to set up a camera and catch these and put them on YouTube and get people to subscribe. He can call his channel Flipping the Bird. You get a YouTube channel, monetize that. Come on, Goldberg. Do what you got to do. All right, back to Goldberg. Thankfully, a Memphis Fire Department ambulance pulled up in no time and got to work to help out this young lady who ate asphalt on the trolley tracks while riding a bird scooter. I couldn't help but think what a waste of time and resources to make the multitude of daily scooter users an added responsibility for our first responders. This is to the point, my fellow Memphians, where we have to realize how this unregulated scooter takeover of our city impacts us all. Why? If we have bike lanes to keep cyclists, pedestrians, and motorists safe, do we allow these unregulated motorized scooters to take over our sidewalks? If you live downtown like I do, you've likely been run off the sidewalk or worse. Also, if Tennessee state law requires helmets for all motorized vehicles, from motorcycles to mopeds, why not for motorized scooters? That's insane. Like me, you've likely witnessed every type of scooter rider imaginable. The uncoordinated, the inebriated, and just the plain reckless. Not to mention the pack of scooters whose curb-jumping antics and danger to drivers are always a sight to behold. If you live downtown, you've also had to walk over or navigate around the visual pollution that is scooter after scooter flipped on its side in the middle of the sidewalk. Urban pollution on the order of the dog crap and fast food wrappers that used to pass for sidewalk decorations in years gone by. Literally and figuratively, looking around this city, you can plainly see we've been flipped the bird by these scooter companies. We can't get these scooters regulated, including requiring helmets and ticketing riders who use the sidewalks. That is, if we can't, then we as a city need to flip the bird back. Kick them out. See, I'm with you, Goldberg. I'm with you, man. It's always good to kind of validate your own opinion when another, obviously very smart, likely very handsome mid-southerner sees the problem. You can't have this. Again, it's true. If Tennessee state law says you have to have a helmet, then why do these bird scooters and lime scooters and Bolt and Spin, whoever the hell's putting these motorized scooters out there, why are the riders of these motorized vehicles not required to wear helmets? And who's going to, because it kills their business model. People don't walk around with helmets. So, yeah, I liked reading that. I mean, only because I don't think he was listening to the program. That said, it's just a common sense kind of evaluation of these goofy scooters. And yes, also, there's a little bit of curmudgeon in me who I don't want people to have fun. Listen, I'm not into the scooters, therefore you shouldn't be into the scooters. That's really what it boils down to for me. They're dumb, they're dangerous, and they're junking up the place. Quit stinking up the place. That's all I have to say on that matter. Thank you, Keith Goldberg, for your enlightened op-ed in the Daily Memphian. All right, coming up, I want to tell you about my drone. Yes, I'm pro-drone. I'm anti-e-scooter, but I'm pro-drone. But I am awful at this droning thing, and especially when I'm drinking. I do not recommend drinking and droning, and I'll tell you why next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
Planning for retirement can be confusing and overwhelming. Tune in to the Servant Retirement Show to hear the current news and events today's retirees need to know. Every Saturday morning at 8 on KWAM, The Voice, AM 990. If you want to talk to Dan Groban or Philip Menard today about your retirement plans, call the team at Servant Advisors Group, 855-260-1000. That's 855-260-1000. Get started on the path toward a comfortable retirement today. 855-260-1000.
When you're planning an event and need on-time delivery, call Odell Sanders. Sanders Catering has been in business for 31 years, specializing in breakfast, lunch, dinners, corporate, and social events. When you need a caterer to work with your budget, call Odell Sanders at 901-372-2631 or visit them online at sanderscatering.com and take a look at their menu. Sanders Catering, a leader in catering services. Call today at 901-372-2631.
Hey everyone, I'm your host Marie Pisano of the Finding My Yes radio show. We got a new talk show that interviews celebrities in film, music, TV, and some interesting people from Memphis to around the world. We even feature some music from emerging artists. Don't miss us Sundays at 4 p.m. right here on The Voice FM 107.9 and AM 990. Brought to you by ECT Go Heroic.
When's the last time you looked at the windows in your house? Not through the windows, but at the windows. Really looked at them. There's dirt, streaks, buildup, smudges, fingerprints, paw prints, spider webs, dead bugs, those little white speckles. I have no idea what they are, and who knows what else. Now, cleaning all the windows in your house makes a big difference, but it's also a big job. That's why you need Just Windows Home Services. Just Windows has been taking the pain out of window cleaning since 1992. Just Windows cleans all types of windows, storm windows, screens, skylights, interior, exterior, upstairs and down. Now, I know I told you the company is called Just Windows Home Services, but they do a lot more. Roof and gutter cleaning, pressure washing, mirrors, blinds, ceiling fans, light fixtures, chandeliers. Look, if you've got hard to reach areas of the house, then you need Just Windows Home Services. Call for a free estimate, 751-3934. That's 751-3934, or get them online at justwindowsmemphis.com. That's justwindowsmemphis.com.
I'm Ed Parami, the owner of Jan Pro, the franchise that helps you be your own boss. Jan Pro is now the fastest growing franchise in the entire world for the second year in a row by Entrepreneur Magazine. We are growing so fast we need new business owners right here in Memphis right now. So if you want to be your own boss and open your own business, call Jan Pro at 901-683-4900 to see just how easy it is to be your own boss. For as little as $950 down, you can be a part of Jan Pro. Don't waste another minute. Call 901-683-4900.
For expert service guaranteed, call 866-EXPERTS.
That's the number that could save you up to 30% on your energy bills. Call today and Service Experts Heating and Air Conditioning will hook you up with an AC tune-up. Right now, save $20 on an AC tune-up. Service Experts Heating and Air Conditioning, your hometown Memphis tune-up pros.
Call 866-EXPERTS.
See website for license details.
Welcome back to it.
Yes, have some.
The Nation of Jake.
Yes, have some.
On The Voice, FM 107.9 AM 990. Online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live on YouTube, Nation of Jake, the channel. Subscribe and tell your friends to do the same. Let's get that subscriber count way, way up. And then I can monetize the channel, make a few bucks, and then say something controversial and get demonetized. That's the whole point of being on YouTube, isn't it? Be a YouTube star. All right, so I bought a drone. The drone is not the nicest drone in the world. It didn't cost all that much. It cost $30. So you get what you pay for, right? The first time I took the drone out, actually didn't take it out. I took it into my dining room, my living room, actually, and I banged it on the ceiling, and it hit the ground and then got stuck under the couch. That was drone round one. And I figured I probably need to go outside and give myself more room. So after I had a few beers, I decided to give the droning another shot. I do not recommend drinking and droning. All right? Here's why. You got to have all your faculties about you to operate one of these drones. A lot of play in the joystick. I guess the remote control. You get liftoff, and it flies just fine. But, man, you got to factor in the wind. And there's something where you have to trim down the steering. And I'm just like, there's too many buttons on this thing. I'm an Atari guy, man. Joystick, one button. That's where I come from. So I've got this drone. So I immediately, achieve liftoff in this field back behind the house. And then it gets caught up into the wind and it just starts going. It doesn't even matter what I'm doing. The wind takes my drone, I don't know, a good 100 yards away, out of range, and then just drops right out of the sky. So I have to walk kind of tipsy, not in a straight line by any means. I have to walk to go retrieve my drone. I can't even get it to come back to me. I can't even steer it. But there are people out there who race these drones, who can control them with pinpoint accuracy. And I know it was just my first day. It's got a camera on it, and the camera shots are embarrassing because I can't control this thing. I'm going to try it today sober. I'm going to have a sober droning session, see if I can control this thing. A beautiful day for it. But I watch guys who are able to take drones. I mean, drones now, they're used in Hollywood. Used to be where you got those aerial shots. You had to have a crane or you had to have a helicopter and some sort of gimbal to kind of stabilize the shot. Now they just send up a drone with a high definition camera on it. And the camera drone I've got right now, it's not high def. It's probably 480p. It's fine. If it's light out, you get some pretty decent shots, but not if it's dark at all. If it's inside, you're done. But just controlling the things, some really talented people, maybe some drones that are programmable. I'm almost certain you can kind of program them to go exactly where you need to go. I think that's kind of the deal. But no, the drones, think about this, man. We are in an age of technology that we take for granted. Really, if you go back 50 years when they launched the Apollo 11 mission to go to the moon, they were using these giant mainframe computers, right? You had these HAL-like computers. You have more processing power on your phone. And now I've got a drone with a camera that streams video to a phone that I have linked up. It's unbelievable. Just, if you get a drone and you start learning how to use it, just be sober. Don't drink and drone. That's your public service message. More on the Mueller Report coming up.
KWAM, your news and information station with CBS News updates every hour on the hour. KWAM Memphis.
This is CBS News on the hour. Real news, real reporting.
I'm Steve Dorsey, live in Washington.
Problematic is an understatement.
New candidate assessments from Robert Mueller to the House Intelligence Committee on President Trump's praise of WikiLeaks after it posted hacked Clinton campaign emails in 2016. Republicans, though, most concerned with the origins of Mueller's probe. Ranking member Devin Nunes says it's rooted in outlandish allegations about Donald Trump contained in a dossier financed by Democrats.
Among other things, the FBI used dossier allegations to obtain a warrant to spy on the Trump campaign.
But committee chairman Adam Schiff says it's where the Mueller report ends that's most important and damaging for the Trump campaign.
With a scheme to cover up, obstruct, and deceive every bit as systematic and pervasive as the Russian disinformation campaign itself, but far more pernicious since this rot came from within.
I'm Steve Dorsey, live in Washington now with more CBS News. Here's correspondent Jim Chenevey.
A deal to get Facebook out of some privacy hot water. CBS's Jason Brooks.
Facebook is getting fined $5 billion by the Federal Trade Commission over privacy violations, but CEO Mark Zuckerberg is getting off without any serious penalties, only required to personally certify the company's compliance with its privacy programs. There was some speculation as to whether he would be personally fined or even see his authority at Facebook clipped.
Britain has a new prime minister. Conservative leader Boris Johnson met with the Queen today to make it official. He's planning to make Brexit a reality by the end of October.
I am today building a great team of men and women. I will take personal responsibility for the change I want to see. Never mind the backstop, the buck stops here.
Nearly 5,000 people evacuated from homes due to a wildfire that's burning just outside of Flagstaff, Arizona. Governor Doug Ducey.
There will be no expense spared in combating this blaze. This is the absolute top priority for the state of Arizona at this moment and will remain so until we have it contained.
Some rain has helped the fire crews there today, but no such luck at the scene of a wildfire that's burning near the Idaho National Laboratory Nuclear Research Site. That continues to grow and draws nearer to the buildings in what is the nation's primary federal research facility for nuclear science. A federal judge blocking 3 new abortion restrictions that were set to take effect today, including a measure that opponents say would force the state's only surgical abortion clinic to close. It would require doctors performing abortions be board certified or board eligible in obstetrics and gynecology. On Wall Street right now, the Dow is down 103, but the Nasdaq's up 52. This is CBS News.
CBS News Radio is your home for breaking news. With our team of reporters around the country and the world, we give you the coverage you can trust.
Have you racked up more than $10,000 in credit card debt? Are you struggling to make the minimum payments? There are ways to get out of debt, but the credit card companies don't want you to know about it. Debt relief programs through United Debt Counselors can help people like you get out of credit card debt and put you on the path of debt freedom with just one low monthly payment program. Get started right now and call United Debt Counselors at 800-611-9060. Get rid of the stress of struggling to make that monthly payment. High interest rates will be a thing of the past, and chances are you won't have to pay the entire amount you owe. United Debt Counselors has helped thousands of people reduce more than $160 million of debt. You have a right to settle your debt for less than what you owe. You won't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan. Get started reducing your debt now. Get free information today by calling United Debt Counselors at 800-611-9060. That's 800-611-9060. United Debt Counselors. Not available in all states.
Some New Englanders are finding out it's hard to avoid the long arm of the law. Peter King reports.
The jig is up for about 100 Rhode Islanders who thought they found a way to avoid higher taxes, insurance payments, and tickets for their vehicles by registering them out of state. Providence police say they traced the registrations to an empty field hundreds of miles away in Jefferson, Maine. Now they've tracked down the owners who will soon be getting bills for unpaid parking, red light, and speeding tickets. Peter King, CBS News.
Organizers of an Eastside Chicago block party under fire for an event that allowed kids to hit a piñata shaped like an immigrations and customs enforcement officer. The event was put together by the local Chamber of Commerce and funded by more than 25 local businesses. Pictures showing parents holding their kids up so they could strike the piñata went viral on social media, and while some commented that they liked it, others found it disrespectful, ignorant, and teaching the young to hate. Jim Chenevey, CBS News.
You probably want to eat healthy, but getting enough organic fruits and vegetables into your diet every day is not only time-consuming, it's expensive. That's why at Texas Superfood, we've created a blend of the best USDA organic, vine-ripened fruits and vegetables, powerful enzymes and probiotics, and energizing herbs, all in a convenient capsule or powder. We call it Texas Superfood Complete Organic. Hi, I'm naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, and I invented Texas Superfood almost 20 years ago with one goal in mind: to help people like you who lead busy lives get the all-natural nutrition that every one of us needs and deserves. So if you can't, won't, or don't eat all your organic fruits and vegetables every day, Texas Superfood Complete Organic makes eating healthy easy. See our full line of quality nutritional products at TexasSuperfood.com or call us at 855-TEXAS-55. That's 855-TEXAS-55. TexasSuperfood.com.
Hey, look at that freak! Look at him. Seems like a nice guy, and he just exudes macho.
Welcome to the Nation of Jake on The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9, and AM 990.
Welcome back to it.
Yes, have some.
The Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990, online, KWAMTheVoice.com, streaming live on YouTube, the YouTube channel. Go subscribe to it. Very easy to find. Nation of Jake, all one word, Nation of Jake there on YouTube. You can also follow me on Facebook and on Twitter at Nation of Jake. Very simple. We got the news cruise coming up in just a little bit. We will cram as many headlines onto the news cruise because today, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on where you are on it, the Mueller hearings is the number one story, kind of sucking up all the air out of the news cycle. I'll say this to anybody who has any kind of damning news, release it today. It's perfect for a news dump. You got the Mueller hearings are being covered by every major news service. You hear it on the CBS updates at the top of the hour and the bottom of the hour here on KWAM. Everywhere you go, top trending is Mueller hearings. You go on your social media. It's all about Robert Mueller and the Mueller report. For 2+ years, we were told that this was going to be the undoing of President Donald Trump. That Donald Trump got together with Vladimir Putin, and together they hacked the 2016 election and stole it from Hillary Clinton. And Donald Trump is president because he colluded with the Russians, right? Well, the Mueller report comes out, and there's no collusion or conspiracy with the Russians. But there is a question of obstruction of justice, because in the Mueller report, in Volume 2, they describe actions taken by the president or those around him who could have, that may be construed as obstruction of justice, but the bottom line findings, both outlined in William Barr's letter, summarizing the findings, and then the Mueller report itself, which was later released with minimal redaction, is that the evidence didn't support charging the president with obstruction, but it does not exonerate him. And that's kind of it. Like, it just kind of fizzled out. And man, Democrats were so mad. So they grilled William Barr for a couple of days in some hearings about the Mueller report. And then they finally decided to subpoena Robert Mueller. If you recall, he doesn't want to be there. He said, I don't want to testify. Everything that I have to say, I said in my report. Refer to the report, 448 pages of it, 2 volumes on conspiracy, collusion, obstruction, whatever. It's all there. And I'm not going to step outside of it, even if you do subpoena me. And so this morning, he was before the House Judiciary, and he was pretty much saying, I'm not going to get into that. Anything that wasn't in the report, I'm not going to get into that. Not in my purview. And he was saying some weird stuff. And he said he'd never heard of the Steele dossier, not familiar with the Steele dossier, which was penned by ex-British spy Christopher Steele. It was also, I guess, commissioned by this Fusion GPS. And let me correct myself. He says that he's not familiar with Fusion GPS, which commissioned the Steele dossier, which was pretty much like the founding document of the Mueller report. It's pretty much how it all started, was this long since debunked Steele dossier that was paid for by Fusion GPS, which did OPPO research for Hillary Clinton's campaign. So how is Robert Mueller, the veteran, former FBI man, special prosecutor, right out of central casting, right, as they say, how is he not familiar with Fusion GPS? Either he's not being truthful, or he didn't write the report, he delegated it to other people, or he's not remembering it. And that's honestly, all three are bad. None of those options are good. I mean, Robert Mueller should know that report inside and out. He shouldn't really have to consult any part of the report. He should know the details. He should be intimately familiar with that report front and back. His name's on it. Now, I don't think that, it's that he should have written the whole report or that he by himself should have conducted all the interviews, but he should be able to answer these questions pretty fluidly. But instead, we're getting a lot of, can you repeat the question? Who? What? How? Who? Robert Mueller. Who's that? Who is he? I mean, honestly, I feel bad for him. Somebody maybe should call the elder abuse hotline on behalf of Robert Mueller, put out a silver alert. There's an incoherent, disoriented, confused old man walking the halls of our nation's capital, and he's wandered into some hearing. And now there's a bunch of younger representatives beating him up verbally, asking him questions to which he does not know the answers or just doesn't want to answer, and they're antagonizing this poor old man who looks lost. And that's not, I'm not the only one saying that stuff. I mean, I'm watching the clips like everybody else. I'm here on the Twitter. A lot of people are. Guys that you wouldn't think would give that kind of assessment of Robert Mueller. David Axelrod, longtime advisor to President Obama. This guy is a Democrat operative and has been for a long time. David Axelrod tweets, "This is delicate to say, but Mueller, whom I deeply respect, has not publicly testified before Congress in at least 6 years, and he does not appear as sharp as he was then. And it helps explain why Mueller wanted his aide nearby." He says, "This is very, very painful. Not a commentary on the content. The report is damning. That was reinforced today. He has been an exemplary public servant, but as people on both sides attest, he's clearly struggling today, and that was painful." So, yeah, I mean, it's optics this is all about optics. The hearing, I mean, the guy already said he didn't want to be there and to refer to his report. They have all the information they need with regards to Russian meddling, collusion, conspiracy, and obstruction, but they wanted Robert Mueller to bring it to life. That's all about optics. Optics, it's not just the number one thing, it's the only thing when it comes to this. Now, there are going to be sound clips and sound bites that you're going to hear later, when this all settles down, because they're still testifying right now in the afternoon portion before the House Intelligence Committee. But as you listen to these clips, just know that while it's been going on, people are really confused. There are some people asking if Robert Mueller is okay. Is he all right? Does he have the mental faculties to have led this investigation? Is this the Robert Mueller we've been told always gets his man? I don't know. Or he just doesn't want to be there. And it's making it very clear that, hey, none of you guys are going to get what you want out of me. I'm not going to play your political games. I'm not going to partake in your political theater. You're not going to trip me up. I'm just going to be difficult. I'm just not going to answer the questions. So it's been a show for sure. Both, Democrats and Republicans making their point. Basically, it's this. The Democrats will bring something up. Robert Mueller will say, yes, refer to my report. The Democrat questioning Robert Mueller will read from the report and then thank Robert Mueller for his service. So it's just kind of like, hey, we can get the guy who wrote the report to affirm the parts of the report that we find are damning to Donald Trump, and then that's their game. On the Republican side, the Republicans yell at Robert Mueller, and he gets confused and says, this wasn't in my purview. I'm not going to talk about that. And then he gets yelled at some more, and it just becomes a venue for Republicans to yell at an old man. Nobody looks good today. Nobody looks good at all. This is a last-ditch attempt for Democrats to push an impeachment vote, which they already did last week, and they voted 332 to 95 not to impeach. So I'm not sure how this is going to change anything So, I mean, that's it. I mean, what is this it? Are they going to call for another investigation? Are they going to say, Robert Mueller clearly didn't do his job here. We need another investigation. I could see them doing that. It would be a mistake. It would hand Donald Trump the presidency in 2020. I mean, you already investigated for 2.5 years. The whole time he's been in office, he's been under investigation, whether it be the special counsel, Robert Mueller, or the Southern District of New York, or Congress trying to subpoena tax records, or whatever it is. The guy has been, if a president's been more vetted, and I'm not saying that Donald Trump comes out clean on all this stuff. I'm sure there's shady stuff that goes on. I'm sure there's shady stuff that has gone on with every presidency. It's just, where was the political will to investigate every other president? It wasn't there. At least not as much political will to take down a president as much as Democrats want to take down Donald Trump. And it's very simple. It's very simple. They don't have any ideas. They don't have the ideas to compete with the GOP's ideas right now. In fact, the GOP doesn't even have any ideas. The GOP just sits there and is letting these crazy Democrats who want a Green New Deal and open borders and to give away a bunch of free stuff, they're just letting them tie their own rope. They're saying, look, we're the GOP and we're big government Republicans and we spend too much money, which is absolutely true. Want to run up big old debts and deficits. They're not fiscal hawks by any means. This Republican Party, don't let them tell you they're the party of fiscal responsibility. They are not. They are not. And that's my main problem with these Republicans. But the economy's going well. They cut taxes. They don't want to take any more of your money. All they got to do is point across the aisle and say, look, they want to take all your money and give voters free stuff. And they want to get rid of farting cows and air travel. And they want open borders. To say it's either us or them. And right now, what scares the hell out of Democrats is they're seeing the internal polling. And they're saying, yeah, we don't have anybody in this field of 24 who can compete with the bad ideas over on the other side of the aisle. It's unbelievable where we are here in 2019. So yes, these Mueller hearings is just the latest in the political theater. Again, this impeachment stuff's got to die. I don't think it's going to happen. They've already tried. It doesn't work. It hasn't worked. All right, so I'm about over it. I'm sure that we'll have more because it's ongoing right now. I know that Robert Mueller is in front of the House Intelligence Committee, and he's talking about Donald Trump and his praise of WikiLeaks and how that's problematic. In fact, Robert Mueller's now saying that that's an understatement, that's problematic. And yeah, it's probably not a great look for Donald Trump to go and praise WikiLeaks, but he did, and he's president still, and you still don't have the political will to impeach him. So beat him with your ideas. Come up with a candidate who can beat him. Because I'm not sure Joe Biden's it. I don't know that Elizabeth Warren is it. Kamala Harris ain't it. Cory Booker ain't it. Mayor Pete ain't it. Who you got? Who else you gonna compete with? I'd like to know. Speaking of that, there are polls which are largely irrelevant at this point in this presidential cycle. But then there are other polls that tell you a little bit more. I like the polls on the issues. I like to read into those and then figure out who those issues favor. Do they favor the Democrats or the Republicans? I've got some numbers, and you might be surprised as to what the top concern is for a 2020 presidential voter. We'll get into that and more next right here in the Nation of Jake.
AM, FM 107.9, and AM 990.
If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, stop. Don't do anything until you talk to my man, James Underwood. James Underwood has been helping people like you navigate the Mid-South real estate market for more than a decade. So whether you're looking to buy your first home or you want to upgrade to your forever home, James Underwood can help make it happen. No gimmicks, no guarantees, just a rock-solid guy that I've known for 25 years. So now, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, hit up James Underwood with CryLike. JamesUnderwood.crylike.com. That's JamesUnderwood.crylike.com.
I talk with healthcare professionals to bring you the latest wellness information Tuesdays and Thursdays on Live Life Well. Listen in and get tips like this to help you get started on your road to wellness.
The highest hurdle most of us ever get over is getting started on doing something every day. Start with a 5-minute walk every day. Have some comfort close by bedside. Jump on your treadmill, your stationary bike, or your sidewalk. Do 5 minutes and then go take a shower and get ready for your morning.
I'm Bernadette Davis, and I've got you covered every Tuesday and Thursday on Live Life Well. Listen in during the Mary Beth Conley Show, streaming live on KWAM The Voice.com.
The special event florist for the Mid-South is Lynn Doyle Flowers. They are famous for creating incredible floral arrangements and are available to fill even your last-minute needs. From the simple to the magnificent, their staff can create unique arrangements for your special occasion. Flowers always bring a smile, make someone's day, and for fast, convenient delivery, call Lynn Doyle Flowers today at 901-323-4521 or visit their beautiful new location at 6225 Old Poplar Pike.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Dan Groban and Phil Menard at Servant Advisors Group call this mailbox money. It's the monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They want to help remove stress from your retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Servant Advisors Group at 855-260-1000 for a complimentary retirement analysis with strategies that could help your nest egg provide you monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call right now, 855-260-1000. Servant Wealth Management is a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Servant Advisors Group, LLC. Insurance licensed in Tennessee, Mississippi, and in Arkansas.
Did you know that your potential customers look at your website and determine your credibility within 8 seconds? Make sure your business reflects the quality service you provide. Contact Control Alt Design for a free quote today. Today's marketplace is very competitive and you need a professional web presence. Control Alt Design offers web design at a fraction of what the larger firms charge. Control Alt Design has been helping local businesses stand out on the web for over 20 years. They also offer logo design, business card design, flyers, brochures, and more. See their work today at ControlAltDesign.com.
I'm Ed Horrell, author of The Kindness Revolution. It's estimated that hundreds of thousands of children go to bed every night crying themselves to sleep because they're being bullied at school. Bullying is the sport of cowards, and it needs to be stopped. But until it's defeated, here are a few things to do if you feel that your child is being bullied. First of all, if your child has told you that they're being bullied, take a minute to remember that that's taken a lot of courage for them to do that. Second, make sure to speak with someone in control, such as a teacher or administrator. Check to see what the school's anti-bullying policy states. And third, make sure your child has a safe place with unconditional love. Bullying is an enormous problem today in too many schools, and we as parents need to be watching for signs. To learn more, check us out at thekindnessrevolution.net.
KWAM 990 is a historic radio station proudly serving the Mid-South for over 50 years. KWAM first signed on the air as KWEM, helped launch the careers of B.B. King, Howlin' Wolf, Ike Turner, many Sun Studio stars such as Elvis Presley and Johnny Cash.
I'd get it one piece at a time, and it wouldn't cost me a dime. You'll know it's me when I come through your town.
Artists were able to purchase time on the station to play their music and perform live, giving them exposure to the public as well as record producers.
Train I ride, 16 coaches long.
Today, AM 990 keeps history alive by showcasing local guests telling their unique stories on the Earl Farrell for Memphis show. Don't miss it, the Earl Farrell for Memphis show, weekdays from 3 to 6, on air at AM 990. Online at KWAM990.com.
All right, welcome back to it.
Yes, have some.
It's the Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9 AM 990. We're online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live there on YouTube. Go check out the YouTube. Nation of Jake there. Also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram if you want to go check out my photos. All right, so some polls have come out. These aren't just the polls. I mean, the regular polls are that Biden's the front runner. He's got like 30%, and then the next closest is like at 19%. I don't know. It's Biden, and he got Sanders and Warren, your top three, and then Mayor Pete and Kamala Harris are there. If you want to get into the 2020 candidates, and they're all at some NAACP meeting today, and they're talking about, it's clear Donald Trump committed obstruction, and he should be impeached. And it's like, okay, great. That's fine. I think most people want to move on from that. In fact, I think that impeachment for Donald Trump, if you were to poll people on the issues, registers somewhere like last on the list. I don't think there's a lot of political will for impeachment of Donald Trump. I think most people want to get on with the business of the country. I think that's what most people want to do. And so when you look at the polls, you look at the numbers, this is from Gallup. All right, when you look at like the problems facing the country, the main concerns of the electorate, here we have 27% identify immigration as the most important U.S. problem. All right, that surpasses a record of 23% naming the issue in June. So it's getting bigger, that number. A small number of issues have ever eclipsed 27% since 2001. All right, so after hitting a new high last month, mentions of immigration as the most important problem facing the U.S. increased to 27% in July. Since Gallup began regularly recording mentions of the issue in 1993, immigration has been cited by an average of 6% of Americans, though it's been higher in recent years. Well, there's more coverage of the immigration issue with the crisis on the southern border. You've got these camps, they're overcrowded, the resources aren't there to take care of all these people. You've got giant caravans full of migrants from Honduras and other countries, Guatemala, who are traversing Mexico to pretty much storm the southern border of the United States. And so, yes, people, they see these images and they get more concerned about it. All right. So, yeah, it's spiked. It's gone up. There was a spike in 2006 and in 2016, and now in 2019, it's up to 27% of voters. So, I mean, when you look at that with regard to, the rest of the issues, immigration comes up at 27% of people mentioning that as their top concern. Next is the government/poor leadership. The way the government works, doesn't get anything done, the gridlock in Washington. That's 23. So those are your main two. I mean, everything else is just scant at this point, isn't it? Race relations and racism, 7%, which that is the whole racism and race relations. That's largely manufactured by media. Honestly, when I go out and about, and I interact with people of different races, I don't really feel the tension. I think that individuals are mostly just fine with people of different races. Black people, white people, Asian people, Hispanic people. I think most of us are just fine on an individual level. But it's when we get in these groups and when you're asked about it and you read about it and you read the narratives that are all woven together about whether it's police shootings or you get the viral stories about, people chanting, go back to where you came from, or the one with the grocery store people in Atlanta, those two jerks in the grocery store. Yeah, you see those kind of stories. Those are divisive. Sure. And you might think that it's a bigger problem than it really is. So that's at 7%. Healthcare is also at 7%. Climate change, 4%. Unifying the country, 4%. The economy, 3%. People aren't really that concerned about the economy when it's good. When the economy's bad, that number goes way up. But you have immigration, right? It is the number one concern for people. How does that factor in to the 2020 race? I mean, do you think that 27% of people who are concerned with immigration want open borders? Do you think those people are concerned because they want people to just come on up from Central America and Mexico without any kind of repercussions? Because that's the debate now. You've got 2020 presidential candidates multiple candidates who want to decriminalize coming over the border, which is essentially just getting rid of our southern border. No consequences. It's not a crime to be in the country undocumented or essentially illegally. It doesn't even make any sense. It's not a crime to be in the country illegally. So everybody's a citizen or everybody is a resident. Everybody can just come here no matter what. If you decriminalize being in the country without the proper paperwork or the proper process. So that, to me, I don't think that's a solution that these 27% of people are concerned with. I mean, people are concerned about it because they want some kind of definite plan to deal with it. They just don't want the open borders. They probably don't like seeing the camps and the child separations or family separations. They probably don't like seeing that. So they want it fixed, but I don't think that they want the fix just to be open borders, just let everybody go, freely come and go as they please. That doesn't really, just anecdotally, I mean, or just logically, or just a feeling, really. I mean, when you're concerned about immigration, you want it to be fair and equitable, sure, but you also want it to be lawful. You want there to be a process. So when I read that number, I think that probably favors Donald Trump in 2020 over the Democrat field. Because nobody on the Democrat field is making sense about it. I mean, they're the ones who all raised their hands saying they want to give illegal immigrants free health care. That to me, that's a concern. I'm concerned about the cost of health care. We're talking about eliminating private insurance and then insuring more people for more stuff. You can't do that for less money. And you're going to put me in the same pool as people from other countries. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, unless we just bust it all down, just have global health care. Buy into a pool of people. Let me get into the old healthcare system in Australia. Why not? I don't even know what it looks like. So, I mean, that's one, going by the issues, I mean, I don't see impeachment or Donald Trump on here, but I do see things like climate change at 4%, the economy at 3%, education at 3%. I mean, I see all these other issues. The main one right now is immigration, and that's probably going to work in the favor of Donald Trump in 2020. Now that said, Donald Trump's doing all this stuff with immigration. He wants to build the wall. Democrats are fighting him on that. He announced, and this is crazy, this is another story kind of related to this. You've got Donald Trump announced, I guess over last weekend, there were to be all these raids, ICE raids, and something like thousands of families, thousands of known undocumented immigrants were going to be raided and then deported. And it turns out they ended up catching 35 immigrants. Yes, it was supposed to be 2,100 families. So thousands of people were targeted in these raids, and ICE was able to catch 35 immigrants, which I guess maybe announcing when you're going to arrest people is probably not the best tactic if you actually want to arrest them. I never understood that ICE was going to announce, hey, we're going to have some raids this weekend. And then you had a lot of politicians on the left were warning people. They're saying, hey, you don't have to answer the door. You know your rights. We're warning you. I mean, of course, you go and hide. You hide, especially if you're going to announce when the raids are going to happen. I mean, is that a law? Does the president have to announce when DHS or ICE is going to go perform a raid? Doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose of a raid? So yeah, President Donald Trump vowed to deport millions of immigrants from the U.S. He was telegraphing an immigration and customs enforcement operation that targeted migrants with final deportation orders. The real list had about 2,100 families on it, with the goal of deterring Central American migrants from crossing the southern border. The final tally from the operation, according to federal officials, 18 family members were arrested, not enough to fit into a school bus. Not enough to fill up a school bus is what it should say there. Immigration officials arrested another 17 undocumented immigrants as they encountered in their searches, collateral arrests. So only 18 of those targeted were arrested, and then the other 17 were collateral. So it doesn't look like that was a really successful raid. But when you telegraph that you're going to be raiding and apprehending illegal immigrants, they're going to hide. They're not. You just warned them. It doesn't make any sense. So I mean, that's one of these issues where with immigration, I think people are mostly cool-headed about it. I think most people, they just want order. They don't like seeing the camps. They don't like seeing the family separations. They want some sort of process in place. And it's funny because, man, I saw a video the other day of President Obama, I believe, when he was running for president in 2008. I mean, he had a pretty forceful immigration plan. It was to secure the border and also hold to account people hiring illegal immigrants and then taking those people who are here illegally or undocumented, get a process going and put them in the back of the line so they don't skip over people who have been doing it the right way. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm almost certain that 90% of Republicans would take that deal. And that was President Obama in 2007 talking about it. But now that here we are in 2019, and Republicans essentially want to say the same thing. Let's secure the southern border. Let's get a path to citizenship. Let's make sure people get in line. No, they're racist because now they've pushed it so far left. They just want to decriminalize illegal immigrants and open up the borders and then give them health insurance. It's like, well, hold on a second. I think you're way off on your solution to the problem of illegal immigration. All right, coming up, we've got the news cruise. A lot going on locally and nationally. We'll get all those headlines done, and we'll get them done next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
CBS News special report. A marathon day of hearings before the House has just wrapped up for Russia special counsel Robert Mueller. Democrats looking to shore up accusations of Russia collusion and obstruction of justice, not really backed up by the evidence in Mueller's report. Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff.
When Donald Trump called your investigation a witch hunt, that was also false, was it not?
I'd like to think so, yes.
Well, your investigation is not a witch hunt, is it?
It is not a witch hunt.
California's Devin Nunes, the ranking Republican on that Intelligence Committee.
Among congressional Democrats, the Russia investigation was never about finding the truth. It's always been a simple media operation. By their own accounts, this operation continues in this room today.
CBS's Paula Reed.
On obstruction, Mueller didn't say that he didn't have sufficient evidence. He was clear. He said he could not exonerate the president, but under the Justice Department's guidelines, he did not feel he could actually charge the president.
CBS News special report. I'm Jim Chenevey.
If you're thinking about retirement, you've got to know it's all about income. Your money making money. The Retirement Income Doctor wants to teach you how it's done. Give us a call and we'll send you a free animated video kit. 848-2-INCOME. 848-2-INCOME. And tune us in, The Retirement Income Doctor, Saturday mornings at 10. Call now for your free income kit. 848-2-INCOME. 848-2-INCOME.
Brown Properties. They specialize in commercial and industrial real estate in all of North Mississippi.
He helped me locate a space and helped me get in so easily. The most professional, most accommodating person that I have ever worked with in my professional career.
I would absolutely recommend Jim Brown very highly. As a matter of fact, he'll be my real estate agent from now into the future for sure.
Hi, I'm Jim Brown with Brown Properties, commercial industrial real estate located in South Haven, Mississippi. Call me at 662-393-2255.
This is Clark Howard. So many cars are so much more quiet than they used to be. Any of a number of them automatically go silent when you come to a stop. And this is causing losses of life in the weirdest way. And I want to make sure you're aware, if you have a key fob that just has to be on you when you get in your car and you press a start button, but when you get out of the car, you need a way to remember to turn your SUV, car, truck, whatever, off so that you don't die from carbon monoxide poisoning. What happens is people are pulling into the garage and putting their vehicle into park, forgetting that the vehicle's not turned off, going inside, and then the silent killer carbon monoxide gets them. So what I'd like for you to do is, if you have a keyless car, Just put a sign in your garage, remember to turn off.
Hey, Mike, how's the house coming along? Needs a ton of work. The pipes are leaking. Needs a new roof. The AC just broke. I just don't have time to do it all myself. You know anyone? Oh, just ask Home Advisor. They match you with the best local pros for any home project. Cool. Yeah, you can read reviews and book appointments online. What's it cost? Actually, Home Advisor is always free to use. Nice. I'll check it out.
Go to HomeAdvisor.com or download the free app.
Home Advisor.
Have you heard what President Trump said recently?
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too.
Now you can watch Newsmax TV and get the truth about Trump from Bill O'Reilly, Mike Reagan, Alan Dershowitz, Pat Buchanan, and more. Newsmax TV is America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in 70 million homes. Find Newsmax on DirecTV, Dish, Xfinity, Spectrum, Optimum, Fios, Uverse, and more systems. See Newsmax TV today. It's real news for real people.
Welcome back to it. It's the Nation of Jake on The Voice, FM 107.9 AM 990, online KWAMTheVoice.com, and streaming live on YouTube, Nation of Jake, the channel. Subscribe to it and tell your friends about the Nation of Jake. Losing my voice a little bit. I don't know what's going on. Might be the change in temperature. Could be that. I don't know. Maybe should I talk too much? That's very much a possibility. All right, so we've got on the news cruise. That's what we have. I almost forgot the old news cruise. I like to hop on here. We get a little leisurely look at the headlines. We get some fresh sea air while I stall and find my news cruise music. There it is. Here we go. News cruise brought to you by our friends at Just Windows Home Services. They're online at justwindowsmemphis.com.
News, exciting and new. Come aboard, we're expecting you. The news cruise, full of exciting news. The news cruise, so relax and kick off your shoes.
All right, welcome to the news cruise. Again, brought to you by our friends at Just Windows Home Services. Those guys can clean your windows, but not just your windows. Blinds, ceiling fans, shutters, gutters. You need your gutters cleaned out because of all the mosquitoes that will breed in there. Give you some West Nile virus. You don't want the West Nile. I don't want the West Nile. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants malaria. Trust me, it's something that nobody wants. So call them, and they can do that, and also pressure washing. You've got walkways, patios, pool decks, just the siding on your house. You got a deck? I mean, you got an actual deck. You know how nasty those can get. Have Steve come out with his 2,000 pounds per square inch of flowing water. You know, take all that dirt right out of whatever you got. Just Windows Home Services, 751-3934. That's 751-3934. Online, Just Windows Home Services, justwindowsmemphis.com. 20% off. You tell them the Nation of Jake sent. You got a little distracted there. I got my papers for the news cruise hopelessly ensnarled in a staple. All right, so first up here, the Tennessee State House has elected a new speaker of the House to replace Glenn Cassida. Cassida will resign from his leadership position amid scandal. Yeah, there was misogynistic text messages. He had a chief of staff who liked to have sex in the legislative buildings and do cocaine and all kinds of stuff. So they have named his successor. After 4 rounds of voting, House Republicans elected current caucus chairman Cameron Sexton of Crossville as their nominee for Speaker. He received 41 votes in his favor. The caucus gathered in the old Supreme Court chamber of the state capitol. The entire House chamber will convene August 23rd for a special legislative session called by the governor. It's at that point where Sexton will officially become Speaker that day. Glenn Cassida will step down not from his post as a representative, but his post as Speaker. So it's been a rough few weeks for Glenn Cassida. I don't know much about this. Cameron Sexton fella from Crossville. But I guess he's a good guy. I don't know. That's the thing about state politics, is you know the guys maybe around your districts, but you have no idea these guys from Middle and East Tennessee if you are a Memphian. There's some guys who stand out a little bit more during the legislative sessions. The kind of guys who, introduce ridiculous bills and whatnot. You're like, oh, that guy's a clown. I know that name. But I don't know Cameron Sexton from Adams House Cat. But congratulations, dude. You're going to be the speaker. Don't screw it up. Don't pull a Glenn. Oh, we've got this. This is a great story for University of Memphis Athletics. They got the largest monetary commitment in program history. Yeah, Gary W. and Barbara Bryant made a $13 million commitment to establish the Gary and Barbara Bryant Athletic Excellence Fund. It's the second largest gift in university history. Hold on, I just said it was the largest. Oh, in program history and second in university history. Ha ha. There you go. This remarkable gift showcases the Bryant's philanthropic spirit as we collaborated with another conference institution that is also a receipt of a portion of their trusts. They also gave $13 million donation to UCF. So Central Florida and Memphis are getting $13 million each from these nice people. Good Lord, what does Gary Bryant do? He went to the U of M. He was the president and CEO of life and health insurance companies in Orlando. I guess that explains his connection to UCF. Huge money, man. Big money. I would accept a gift of that scale. That'd be fantastic. Here we go. Tennessee Highway Patrol's Operation Grizzly Bear sees great results, writes Joyce Peterson from WMC Action News 5. The numbers are in after the first week of Operation Grizzly Bear. Now, this is an increased presence of Tennessee Highway Patrolmen to cut down on these interstate shootings. All right, we've had like 30, 34 interstate shootings so far in 2019. After 1 week of providing extra patrols on Interstate 240 and Highway 385, THP says troopers issued 64 citations for failure to wear a seatbelt, 38 citations but 0 for shooting people. So that sounds like progress. This is 5 more weeks on this Operation Grizzly Bear, so we will see if the results keep up. Memphis police are definitely more visible on 240 and 385 with squad cars posted at nearly every exit. Emergency lights flashing, reminding drivers that MPD is watching. So, yeah, the other day, I was discussing, how I was going to get downtown. And I'm like, I guess I'll jump on the interstate. And I'm like, oh, I might get shot on the interstate. I mean, it used to be where you just avoided the bad neighborhoods. Now you got to avoid the whole interstate. But Operation Grizzly Bear looks like it's working. Related, Shelby County is going to buy 325 new SkyCop cameras. You like the SkyCops? I was in a parking lot the other day, and I saw a SkyCop camera, and I was comforted to know that, I was on camera. If anybody wanted to mug or beat me, that they would likely be caught by the SkyCop camera. But then I thought, how boring it is to review all that SkyCop camera footage. So I just kind of started dancing. Kind of, gave them a show. Just kind of say, hey, just make sure you're watching, because if you are, you ain't going to miss this. So I danced in front of the SkyCop camera. 325 of them, though. That's more than twice what Shelby County Mayor Lee Harris asked for in his budget proposal. This is going to cost $1.6 million. The SkyCops. Hey, Earl, did the SkyCops work? I mean, you've worked in the Shelby County Sheriff's Office.
Yeah,
are they helpful?
Yeah, they are. They're as a deterrent, and they also pick up a lot of video of people doing stuff they shouldn't be doing.
Like dancing.
Yeah, you don't
dancing. You don't be dancing in public. So, you know what would be better, I think? Mayor Lee Harris, he's all over this $15 an hour thing. Why wouldn't Mayor Lee Harris hire 325 cameramen to go and get paid $15 an hour to man the SkyCop cameras? And just sit them up there like a lifeguard with a camera. I mean, that way, people will make more money. Because that's one of his things, right? Get people working, give them $15 an hour. It's a magical number. All their problems are gone. I would sit high atop a SkyCop camera as like a SkyCop cameraman. Why not? you're going to get double the amount of Sky Cops. Why not get the original amount and then pay Sky Cop cameramen $15 an hour? Because that'll solve all your problems. Thank you, Mayor Lee Harris. Oh, hey, the dogs that mauled Mario Moore to death. You read about that story, the pack of dogs in southwest Memphis? Last week, this guy was like, I don't know what he was doing out. It was like 2 a.m. or something, and they found Mario being mauled by a pack of dogs. There's a woman who says that the dogs had attacked before. So there's this roving pack of wild dogs who have been attacking people, and it was fatal. In this, I'm just wondering, what do you do about that? I mean, Memphis Animal Services, do they have dog catchers? I know they've been more focused on adoptions, but do they have, dog catchers, animal wardens? Is that part of it? Because I've never heard about this happening in Bartlett where they got Jay the dog catcher. Do you know Jay out in Bartlett, Earl? Jay the dog catcher?
I do not.
No, listen, I'm not going to say that, dog attacks and dog bites have never happened in Bartlett, but I never read about them because they got a guy out there. He's Jay the dog catcher, and he patrols through. And if he saw 12 wild, rabid dogs, he would probably catch them and do what he needed to do. So it's unsettling. All right, so we got a couple other things here. Oh, yeah, we'll leave it with this. Follow-up. The Georgia lawmaker in the grocery store who was confronted by a man because she had too many items in the express lane. She claimed that he told her to go back where she came from, and she cried on Facebook about it, and it became a big political firestorm in the state of Georgia, and then subsequently a national story. Well, it turns out that she was the one who told him to go back where he came from, according to witnesses. And the video, it confirmed his story that he didn't get aggressive. She said that he was aggressive and that he verbally assaulted her. It turns out that his story is closer to the true story. And again, it's just a couple of jerks arguing in the grocery store. But it doesn't surprise me that her story is bogus and she did it for attention. So that's a little follow-up on that one there. In the news cruise, we're going to come back. We're going to wrap things up. Earl's back today. We'll get you set up for the Earl Farrell program. And I'll tell you more about my drunken droning. And we'll do that next right here in the Nation of Jake.
The Voice, KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
Free Talk Live.
I wanted to run some new ideas I had past you guys.
Okay, cool. We'll be your sounding board there, Prez.
Ice cream day.
I love Ice Cream Day. It's awesome. We should have Ice Cream Month and different flavors, just like Baskin Robbins.
Every Friday, Americans get free ice cream.
Now, I don't know about that. Now, wait a minute.
From where, George? Ice Cream Angel's going to bring it down?
Free Talk Live, Sunday through Friday nights on KWAM, The Voice, FM 107.9 and AM 990.
When's the last time you looked at the windows in your house? Not through the windows, but at the windows. Really looked at them. There's dirt, streaks, buildup, smudges, fingerprints, paw prints, spider webs, dead bugs. There's little white speckles. I have no idea what they are, and who knows what else. Now, cleaning all the windows in your house makes a big difference, but it's also a big job. That's why you need Just Windows Home Services. Just Windows has been taking the pain out of window cleaning since 1992. Just Windows cleans all types of windows, storm windows, screens, skylights, interior, exterior, upstairs and down. Now, I know I told you the company is called Just Windows Home Services, but they do a lot more. Roof and gutter cleaning, pressure washing, mirrors, blinds, ceiling fans, light fixtures, chandeliers. Look, if you've got hard to reach areas of the house, then you need Just Windows Home Services. Call for a free estimate, 751-3934. That's 751-3934, or get them online at justwindowsmemphis.com. That's justwindowsmemphis.com.
Did Jesus promise to return within the first century generation? Discover why atheists, Muslims, Jews, and even some Christians believe that Jesus is a liar and the Bible is false. Join William Bell for discussion on the end times and Bible prophecy on the All Things Fulfilled Eschatology broadcast Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. on KWAM 990 and FM 107.9. Listen on Facebook at KWAM The Voice.
Triumph Bank strives to make banking easy for our customers. You have a lot of choices when it comes to banks, so we invite you to visit one of our local offices in Memphis, Germantown, Collierville, and Arlington to see for yourself how our team, backed by our state-of-the-art online and mobile services, can simplify banking for you and your business. Triumph Bank, invested in our communities and making banking easy for you. Triumph is a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender. TriumphBank.com. Let's talk growth.
Hi, this is Ludi Calloway, the mortgage lady with iBank Mortgage. What's going on in the home mortgage business? After several years of record low interest rates, a terrible recession, and plummeting home values, things are finally turning around. But what does that mean to those interest rates and home values? What's Congress going to do to us? Join me Monday morning at 8 and I'll tell you what's happening in today's still changing mortgage world. It's the mortgage lady with Ludi at iBank. Every Monday morning at 8. You ask the questions, I'll give you the answers.
Everyone knows that even good people fall on hard times. Your credit cards get maxed out, and you get behind on your taxes. Unfortunately, the IRS is not as understanding, and they won't stop until they collect. They have the power to take your paycheck, freeze your bank accounts. Even your home or business could be at risk. It's simply not worth it to take on the IRS by yourself. You need to call the experts at Optima Tax Relief. When you call, be sure to ask about the Fresh Start Initiative. It's a special IRS tax debt assistance program that could save you thousands, even tens of thousands. Optima will immediately provide you with a team of professionals who could protect you from the IRS, ensuring that you get the best possible outcome. The Better Business Bureau has awarded them an A+ rating, and you will too. So put the hard times behind you and call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-367-6289. 800-367-6289. 800-367-6289.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
All right, welcome back to it.
Yes, have some.
And the Nation of Jake on the Voice, FM 107.9, AM 990, online, KWAMTheVoice.com. Streaming live on YouTube for just a few minutes more. You can catch the entire show there on YouTube. Go subscribe to the Nation of Jake channel. Earl Farrell's coming up in just a few minutes. Hey, Earl, I got a drone. Have you ever droned?
I've been around people using them on a number of occasions.
Yeah,
I've never done it myself.
Right. Well, here's the thing. It's hard. It's actually not easy at all to control a drone. Number one, they're very light. All right, we're talking about like a quadcopter. So wind is a factor. And I had a couple beers as well before I started droning.
Well, they're
and so,
flying under the influence.
Right. Drinking and droning is not illegal, but I don't recommend it. I got out there, dude. And so I achieved liftoff, no problem. But man, I guess I went a little bit too high, like Icarus to the sun. And then the wind just took it and just blew it like 100 yards away. So here I am, and then it just drops right out of the sky. I was like, man, that thing was like 100 feet up in the air, and then it blows 100 yards down the field, and now I got to walk all the way down and get it. I was hoping it wasn't broken.
How big is it?
It's about yay big. I mean, it's about, I don't know, 8 inches by 8 inches, little quadcopter. It was $30. So look, if it breaks, this is not like a high level drone.
Because the ones we've used are around $1,000, and they're so powerful, and the wind does not affect them at all.
Oh yeah, like nice drones, I can imagine, or maybe even a little easier to navigate because there's more control. That said, I'd be scared I would wreck it. Like, you break a drone, especially those with like the HD cameras, because now news and movies, they're all using drones for aerial shots.
That's exactly right.
And they look great. Mine doesn't look so great. And I suck at it. So I want to go, and I figure though, if I can get good at droning with this little one, then maybe I'll invest in a bigger drone.
The smaller ones are harder to fly.
Well, yeah, and this one's small. This is like a little sharper image drone I got at the old Ollie's closeout store. So I didn't really have high hopes, but it's a great thing because if I do smash it, it won't matter. I won't even care. Yeah, $30. Do it again. All right, Earl's up next. I'll be back tomorrow. So long, and thanks for the fish.
The Mid-South station with the most local talk and CBS News at the top of every hour. KWAM, Memphis.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans.
I'm Jim Shanavy. Russia's special counsel Robert Mueller has wrapped up a day of hearings before two House committees. Correspondent Steve Dorsey.
Robert Mueller taking a stand against foreign election meddling, testifying to House Intelligence Committee Chairman Democrat Adam Schiff.
From your testimony today, I gather that you believe that knowingly accepting foreign assistance during a presidential campaign is an unethical thing to do.
And a crime.
And a crime.
Circumstances, yes.
And to the degree...
And a crime given certain circumstances.
That was among the final minutes of Mueller.